Welcome to Real American Monsters.
Hello, my friends in Monster Land. Tuesday night, once again on the Untold Radio Network's Real American Monsters. And we are back in control. We are back at the helm. And we have another great guest for you tonight. We will not disappoint. Mr. Tom Franklin is with us. He is the host of the Eye of Jupiter podcast. Tom has had experiences from 8 years old and on. And tonight we dive back into the paranormal. We leave the Sasquatch world a little bit and we dive into the paranormal. Tom lives south of the border in Mexico. He lives in the Mexican jungle. And we're going to hear stories from the Mexican jungle also tonight. It's going to be a great show. If you're not a subscriber to Tom's channel, you should go on over and check him out. I was actually a guest on his program. So go on there and give Tom a hello from Real American Monsters. So good evening, everybody. Everybody's pouring in the chat room. Oh, the Squatch Father himself, Alfred Santoriga, is with us. Good evening, Mr. Thomas Franklin. Good evening, Miss Francesca. Hello, Kim Kincaid. Good evening, Diane. So everybody's pouring in to see Mr. Franklin tonight, and it's going to be another great show. Mr. Stephen Wolf is here on time, folks. He is here early, and he is on time. We have such a great chat room. Hope you guys all enjoy the chat and all that. I forgot to show this a couple weeks ago, and then I'll bring our guest out, that Miss Francesca won the book from Al's brother, Paranormal Family and Friends. So there's a picture of her with her little friend in the background, and there's Miss Francesca. So she was the winner of the book. And if you guys haven't seen that interview, you should go on over and check it out because it was a great interview. Al's brother is a great guy, and as Al is himself. So, all right. So one announcement: I have a new video out on my channel, on Real American Monsters channel. It's called The HC. We just got brand new private property. We got hundreds and hundreds of private property acres of land here in the Connecticut-Massachusetts border. And we have full access. We have full access to come and go as we want. Campsite in the middle, ground zero. And we are going to go in there and try and experiment. And we are going to try and bring the guys in with the frequency end of things and all that. And we have Starlink and we have a bunch of toys, and it's going to be exciting. So go on over and check that out on my channel, and that's on the Real American Monster channel. We're going to start that thing rolling. All right. So, yeah, Mr. Flat Rock is here, Mr. Patrick Nobel. So everybody's pouring in. So that's enough for me. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight from the Eye of Jupiter podcast, Mr. Tom Franklin.
Hey, Chris, how's it going, buddy? How's it going?
Good evening. How are you?
Oh, I'm just coming back from basketball practice. I'm doing good, man.
All right, good. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy day. I know you got your tutor in and you're teaching kids basketball, and you got your hands full down here. You got a house in Mexico, you got a house in Germany. You're all over the place. So before we get started, why don't you give everybody just a small little bio on Mr. Tom Franklin before we get started?
Oh, you want me to tell me about myself? Oh, okay. So my name is Tom Franklin. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm former U.S. Army soldier. I spent 4 years active duty. 2 of those years I was stationed in Germany, 6 months of that in Kosovo. Met my ex-wife of 20-something years, lived in Germany for 20 years. And then I came to the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico in the end of 2021 because I didn't want the Caplique, and gave up my entire existence there, except for my house, cars and everything, and came down here to the Yucatan, and now I live here in the jungle. Well, I don't live in the jungle, but I have property in the jungle because we split up, but I do live in the city. And I run a podcast called The Eye of Jupiter, and we talk about, basically the same things you talk about. Hello, Steve. You guys you have a wonderful chat room over there, by the way. Wow, a lot going on. And paranormal, consciousness, Bigfoot, forest people, dogman, wendigos, anything goes. Every Tuesday I have a show that comes out live, so it just dropped today. That one is about the trickster entities. And every Friday I have a live show, and you were on one of the live shows recently. Thank you so much for coming on, and I'm happy to be here, man.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. So I read your biography that you sent me, and again, I am going to all aspects here with the Sasquatch and the paranormal and the ghosts and all that, and I'm trying to bring it all in together because I believe it's all together one way or the other. It's all linked.
Yeah.
So again, now I read your bio, and you had one of your first interactions with a entity when you were 8 years old, and that happens throughout the Sasquatch world. And when you have that when you're young, it seems to last the rest of your lifetime. And well, let's start there. Let's start out what happened at 8 years old, and then we'll move on from there, and then it'll show the progression, just like other folks.
Okay, sure. We'll do it chronologically. Not a problem, my friend. So, so we had to move we moved around a lot when I was a kid, and my dad had to change jobs. So, in this one time in the summer of 1988, we had to move. So, I was born in 80. I am now 45. You do the math. We moved there, and it was a row home on 337 South Fulton Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland. You can look it up on the map. So 337 South Fulton Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland. And so it was a row home. When you go up the steps came up sideways in the row home. So the front room is to the left. That's to the front of the house. That's where my grandmother and her husband slept. Then you have to walk through 2 rooms with no hallways, so you actually literally go through the rooms with doors to get to the bathroom, which was behind the second room. So it's 1 to the left, 1, 2, bathroom. So me and my sister, I was 8, she was 7. If it's in the summer, June, 6 or 7. And not all the time, but it always happened when my older half sister came, and she was like 13 at the time, 5 years old. Yeah, so that makes sense. 13. And it seemed that every time she came, like, just weird things would happen. And I also think this house was also kind of haunted. My grandmother did tell me some stories later in life. But so we were in this room trying to go to bed. It was very hot. We had no air conditioning back then. And so it's a room. You go in, the door swings into the room, into the left on the wall that's adjacent to the house next to us. And then the room just kind of goes off to the right. There's a bed right there on your right. That's where they stayed. And I stayed on another bed across the room on the left side. And things just started happening. We tried to go to bed, and then like the lights would literally flick off and on. And I thought my older sister was playing with me, and I looked over and she was still in the bed. So we're screaming, and we're like, what is going on? And then my parents are yelling up the steps, like, stop playing, go to bed. Then we were okay, and then it kind of stopped for a second. And then these are a couple of them amalgamated into one. I don't remember exactly how it all went night per night, but at least 3 to 4 occasions this happened. On the weekends, that's when my mother had custody of her. And so I don't know if it's the same night or another night. We were there, and then we had a bunch of shoes on the wall so the door swung open, and then there was some shoes. So it would be like I had 2 pairs. My girl, sisters had 3 or 4 pairs apiece. And these shoes literally started flying off the floor and hitting us in the bed. And I seen them like curled up and screaming and getting hit, and I'm getting hit. My little sister, I dig what's going on. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Mr. Varax. So my little sister, who was the brave one, I was the least brave of all of them, for real. And she goes down the steps and tells them, hey, there's some crazy stuff going on there. Get out of here, whatever. Go back to bed. We kind of dies down again, the action. She comes back into bed. So I'm laying in my bed. I got the sheets pulled up to my nose, just looking out the top. And Chris, something reached up between the bed and the wall. So there's like, about a 4-inch space. and it felt like something reached up and put its hand on my chest, dude. I swear, I jumped out of the bed and I'm screaming, you know? And my little sister's like, you know, what's going on? I'm like, something touched me. And then she runs down the steps again, and I'm standing in the middle of the room, and I kind of, you know, and then my little older sister's like, oh, I don't know what we're going to do, and this is crazy. My little sister gets sent back up the steps again. So I'm in this room. The door swings into the room, so it swings into my right. The beds are to my left now because I'm looking out. She comes up the steps, comes in through the first room, and as I say to her, so what did they say? The door slammed in her face. It swung past my face and slammed in her face. And I just froze. People like to say fight or flight, but it's really fight, flight, or freeze. And I froze because it was the scariest, to this day, the scariest damn thing that's ever happened to me. And so she opens the door and asks me, you know, did you slam the door in my face? And I said, no. And then she kind of spun me around like, you know, Weekend at Bernie's, and kind of just like walked me back to my bed and then put me in the bed. And then my older sister, like, you want me to put the sheet on you? Yes. Tucked me in. And then I kept feeling like, it felt like some kind of a breeze was blowing through the blanket and like ripples. And it was very frightening. And in the room adjacent later, and so it kind of stopped only when she was there too, which I later realized has a lot to do with adolescent women, you know, going to, you know, into puberty. And I didn't know it at the time. We all didn't know, but she was having some real bad issues somewhere else. Awful as that may be, but it's part of this, from what I've learned. But one time we were playing hide and go seek in this house, and in the front room we would hide in the closet. And I do remember one time, see, when people talk to me about this and ask me to speak, because normally I'm in your seat, things come up, and I remember distinctively sitting in there, and there's like a shadow, like where the door light came in, there's a shadow, and some shadow kind of came up and then it disappeared into the wall, and that scared me too. But yeah, that house, my grandmother told me she would sit across the street at I can't think of her name, Miss something, I can't remember her name now. And she was sitting there, and she told me that one day, this is years later, because I told her, no one believed me other than my other sisters. They still, I had my sister on my podcast a long time ago, like 2 years ago. I can't get her back on because she doesn't want to come on camera. And she corroborated my story. And Miss Brooks was her name. And my grandmother was sitting on Miss Brooks's steps across it's like a 2 or 3 lane, one direction road coming out of the north of the city down, going out into the suburbs. And she told me that she's seen a woman like draped in black cloth, like walking through the houses. And I was like, you never told me that. She goes, you were 8. I couldn't tell you, you know, it was just too scary. And so to this day, my dad still doesn't believe me. He's in his 70s, and my mom kind of believes me, but my 2 sisters, we stick to our story, and we're now in our 40s. So, you know, the joke's on them. Right. Hey, what's up, Ashes? Thank you, buddy.
So, Tom, was there a certain room in that house that you didn't want to go in? Because when I was a child, I had the same experiences with a ghost in the house that I lived in, and I would never want to go in the basement. Never, ever could get me in the basement. Was there a room in that house like that?
That room where all that happened, we actually made our parents switch rooms with us. And they didn't want to switch rooms because we'd have to walk through there to get to the bathroom. And then, you know, the parents, they want to do parent stuff. And so I remember, I don't know, my mom, I think while we're still living there, or maybe later when we moved to another house, she said to me, yeah, I always felt like something was staring at me in there, and I could never put my finger on it. So it was that room, that back room before the bathroom.
How long did it last for in this house? How long did this activity go on for?
About just like in the summertime. So we were there from, I don't know, May. This is the same, no, maybe longer. Damn, when did my uncle die? My uncle died in 89, I think. So maybe a year, but it only happened in 88. And that's because my mother kind of lost custody. But it was only when my older half sister would come over. So maybe I don't know, maybe 3 months, maybe 4 or 5 times it happened. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times, something like that. But it definitely multiple times.
Is she one of the ones that'll openly talk about what happened? Your half sister, or
We don't have the relationship that we want. So I kind of keep my distance. She keeps her. Me and my younger sister have a great relationship.
Okay.
My full blood sister, and she has a relationship with my half sister a little bit because I've been all over the world and I just couldn't keep up with her. She kind of did her own thing in her life. And she tells me, yeah, my sister, man, she's got some stories, bro. When something chased her in my half sister's house, she was with her husband, chased her up the steps into their bedroom and then slammed the door behind her as she ran into the room. So my sister, her whole life has been seeing things, and my older sister. So it's all three of us.
All right, your half sister sounds like she's got something attached.
She's got something, yeah, man. She does have some demons, bro. Like for real. Like we don't talk about it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, something going on.
She's got issues. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. So how long did you live in this house for afterwards after that? Did it follow you through your younger years?
No. I moved in from there to 2112 Wilkins Avenue, which is about, I don't know, 6 blocks away on a different road. And I lived there from the end of 88. Yeah, now it's making sense. Right, my uncle died when that's right. We just moved, and I remember being there when I heard about it. It's because my parents took me to my grandmother's house that day when my uncle got hit by a car. And that's where I heard it. That's why my memory is a little foggy. No, we moved right before the beginning of the school year. So that's September, to another house. And I never had any problems in that house. No, in the next one. So it was maybe 3-4 months where things were happening at this place.
Okay. So when's the next time it came back? Because now this happens again in all aspects, like the Sasquatch world and everything. You have this interaction when you're young, and then it progresses. You kind of like forget about it. Not everybody, but most people forget about what happens. Like the ghost thing. That when I was young, I didn't really pay attention to it after we moved out of this one house because it didn't really happen again. But it happened periodically over the years. You'd get little tidbits, and I would never even think about it.
There's things I remember we were still freaked out. I moved to Pennsylvania in the end of 92. So from 88 till 92, we lived in Wilkins Avenue, 2112, 2112 Rush. I'm a big Rush friend. Thank you, Steve. Steve Wolf. That was an awesome reference. And we moved to Pennsylvania, and I remember we lived in this very old house that they literally had to go in the basement and jack up because it was slouching in the middle. And I remember like the wind was blowing the door in the house and it was squeaking, and I was freaked out. My dad's like, "It's just the door blowing." So it affected me years after this. And there was nothing wrong with that house. It's just the effects lingered over psychologically. And I don't think a lot of parents listen to their children. And that's something I want to like bring to the forefront a little bit. I don't understand why, because there's kids who can tell you about past lives. I used to live here, and they drive into the town. They're like, "Yeah, this is Mary and Bill." It's freaking crazy. You need to take them seriously, at least a little bit, and not just yell at them. It was ridiculous. So that both of those at the same time, something's happening that's completely, abnormal, and then your parents are just yelling at you, and you're young. It's not good for you.
Right. No, I agree with you. Does do you or your sisters or anything have any like psychic abilities? Have you ever been anybody approached on any of that, or your half sister?
The only thing I know about myself is that I'm extremely empathetic, almost to a fault, where if a person is like has bad like vibes and shit, like they're just kind of grumpy and just you can feel it, I just get away from them. And then I'm really drawn to people that are really cool, and I'm drawn to people who need help. You know what I mean? If I see someone who's like struggling, up here, I'll talk to them and be like, "Hey man, there's God, you can pray, you can meditate, there's many exercise." But like psychic abilities, I don't know, man. I mean, if I get stoned, I could probably think of something. That's for sure. I've been to places doing that through meditation and things, but to say that I'm psychic, no.
Okay. There was a question here. It was a good question right here. Here it is.
Okay.
Manixie asked, did your half sister ever come to that new house?
Yes, but that was later. Like she would come on the weekends later, and she then had a boyfriend. His name was Paul. I actually remember that. And she was like maybe 15, 16. But nothing really happened in that I remember in that house. No, that house was okay. I remember it very fondly, actually.
So where did it go next? From when you're 8 years old, you're having all these interactions. You had the poltergeist stuff at the house. When did it appear again? When did it come back?
Something really weird happened to my sister. She always had issues, so we would always move a lot, like I was saying. And every house we went to, for some reason, being the older brother, I got the pick of the bigger room. So when we moved to Cary Street after living in Pennsylvania and a couple other places, so I was about 13, yeah, and she was 12, and 13, 14, yeah, 94. Wait a minute, 8th grade, yeah, something like that, something like 13, 14. She told me one night, so she had the bigger room, and my room was the little one in the back, and it's like the back was split into two parts. One part is the bathroom, part is the room, but I had a view of the alley in Baltimore, which is very beautiful to look at. And I remember one night she comes running in my room. She goes, "Are you calling my name?" I go, "No." She goes, "Can I sleep in here with you?" Yeah. So she climbed on my younger sister. I'm 13, she's 12. And she slept in the bedroom because something with my voice was mimicking my voice, calling her name in her ear, going, "Jenny, Jenny." And she goes, "What?" And I'm like, "I didn't say anything." So that happened. So I forgot about that. You asked me to write this stuff down. And so that happened. But me personally, I didn't have anything that I noticed until I was, after the military. I joined the military in 98 when I was 18, and I left out in 2002. So I did a 4-year stint, and I moved to Germany in 2002, the end of it, October. And I started a band, and I think it was 2004 or 5. We had enough songs down, and my guitarist was leaving to go do an apprenticeship at BASF in New Jersey. So he's studying BASF in Germany, which is where it begins, where it starts. It's kind of like Dow, but of Germany. And he had to go over for an apprenticeship. So we're like, "Hey, let's go to this practice room where we always practice, our practice room, and let's rent some microphones for the weekend. Let's go ahead and get all these songs down that we wrote." I'm a big metalhead. And we're like, "Okay, so we'll work through the whole weekend trying to get this down." So we're in this room, and we got a mic set up, and we're practicing. And it's like, I think, a Saturday night. So I'm sitting there in this old room. It's called the Power Tower. This building survived the World War II. What would you say, the bombardment? Because the Americans bombed this city in Germany. It's called Mannheim. And they bombed like some of the factories, and this is the factory area, but this is one of the ones that did survive. And it's kind of a weird building. So it's like 4 floors of just rock and roll and metal and hip hop and all kind of things. So you had to go to the 3rd floor, get out of the main hallway, go through this hallway to get to my room. And it had like some fire doors, to keep the fire, and it had what do they call that? Lichtbewegungsmelder. That's German. Light sensors, like what do they call them when the lights turn on, like sensors for the lights. And you go to the end of this hall, then you make a right. Yeah. And then you make another right, and that's my room. And then if you keep going straight instead of making right, it goes to a fire escape out the back. So we're sitting in there, we're jamming, we're tired. I got a beer. We're sitting there on the couch, and I'm looking out into this hallway. And there's this, like, the door's open. The hallway is dark. There's nobody in the building, right? And the door is open. And so you can see, like, the light shining out of the room into the hall, but not in a square, but at an angle, if you know what I mean. It's like a rhombus kind of shape, if you know what I mean. And we're just, talking shit and chewing a rag and hanging out, whatever. And I hear, like, one of the doors open that on the long hallway, right? The fire doors. And I'm like, there's probably someone in here. there's people who like, there's other bands, there's people who mix and master music and stuff. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm hearing footsteps. I mean, clack, clack, like real footsteps. I'm like, I'm not thinking anything of it. No big deal. And then like 3 minutes, I'm not hearing any of the doors close to our room open. Because you would hear them, someone unlocking a door and walking into their room. I'm not hearing any of this. So at that time, I think that I look over to that door frame with the light shining through, and I swear to God, Chris, with it was like 1,000, 1,002, like that speed of time. I seen this black figure with a hat. It was so tall that the brim of the hat was just below the top of the door frame. So it was like, here's the top of the door frame, and the brim of the hat would be here. And you could see it go up, and you start to see the curve just a little bit. And it looked like it was wearing an overcoat, and it just passed in front of the door. I'm staring at this like, what the hell was that? I get up, and my bandmates recognize me because they're staring at me sitting on another couch or chairs or whatever. And they're like, what's going on? And I go, I don't know. I just seen something. I stand up. I walk over to the door. I look to the right because that's where it went, and see if someone opened the fire door, because I didn't hear it open for the fire escape that goes, it's a back stairwell, basically. And no door, nobody in the corner. Look left, look right, nothing. They go, what did you see? And I told them. And then I didn't know what that was called until literally 4 years ago when I came to Mexico and I started my own show. And I was doing it with another gentleman. And he said, well, what kind of experience? And I told him this one. He goes, oh, dude, that's a Hatman. I looked it up on the internet, and I go, that's exactly what I saw, but with no red eyes. It was black. It almost looked like a paper cutout. You know what I mean? It was so strange, man. It was just the weirdest thing.
What kind of? So I had to do some research on it because I'm new to all this paranormal end of the stuff, and with the different entities and all that. And I had to call my Google is Al Santoriga.
Yes, he is also my Google. Yes.
And I said, Al, Hatman, help me out. What's the Hatman? And he, shadow figure, wears a hat, could be a cowboy hat, could be a federo hat. What kind of hat was this entity wearing? What kind of hat did it have on?
The best way I could describe it is, have you ever? I don't know. You're an older gentleman like myself. You ever seen like the old show? I don't know if it was in the 90s or early 2000s. It was 25. Called. Yeah, dude. I'm 27 myself. Right, there we go. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. And you ever seen that? It was called Spy versus Spy. It was like, oh
yeah, the two guys with the two,
yeah, one's black and one's white, and they were. It looked like that hat. It looked like that hat.
Did it have a pointed face like the old doctors used to wear with the mask? Remember during the plague?
The death mask where they would put like roses and no, it didn't have the pointy nose. It was just that form with the head, with the hat, with like what I think they call it a duster. That's what it looked like, and it just, dude, it was the weirdest shit, and it was real, man. I saw that shit, and I was like, what is that? Yeah, it was crazy. I'm sorry.
No, I was just wondering, is that native to Germany? I've never been to Germany. I don't know what they wear. Would that be something like a residual haunt with something they would have wore in Germany from the bomb or something, or it was probably just its own entity then?
I know a little bit about German history. I know the unification under Werner von Bismarck was in the 1800s, and you can look through Prussian history, World War I and II, and there might be something kind of like that, but it would be more like if you look at the New York times in the 1920s where they wear the smaller, like derby hat, derby, one of those words. But I don't think there's anything that would be like dressed like that, or there might be some strange individual, but you have to yes, Hatman, dude, exactly. Was it a duster or a cape? I would say it's more of a duster. Thank you, Al. Is that Al? No, it's somebody else.
Yeah,
Aslan.
No,
that's somebody else. Yeah,
that's Al.
No, yeah, it was more of a duster. It wasn't a cape because it was just solid. You didn't see it moving in the wind, but it just looked like a kind of like something like kind of like a Cruella de Vil, but like just completely black and like just kind of walk past. You didn't see it sway or anything like that, or at least I didn't see it, or at least I wasn't paying attention enough.
I'm picturing Josie Wales all blacked out.
Oh, okay.
That's what
Buffalo Bill.
And you're all blacked out. No, that's what I'm.
But it's been seen a lot of places. I was talking to a gentleman who actually seen it outside underneath a lamppost in the field. Right. So and that was weird. I've never heard them being outside before. Mostly they're inside.
And then I did a little more research on it after I talked to Al, and they're seen around lots of death. Places that have had death, like obviously now this building there was bombings there, people died. So these things are around a lot of that.
Great point. Great point, dude. I'm just like looking at the pictures going, that's what I saw. And then I show my girlfriend, she goes, oh my God, you saw that? I'm like, yeah, I've seen this thing. Yeah.
So do you think if you didn't have your experiences when you were younger and experienced what you did, do you think you would have thought twice about seeing that thing, or you would have just shrugged it off as just a regular?
No, I would say no, only because of my my military training. I'm always kind of looking out, and it comes in handy being here in Mexico. I mean, this part of Mexico is very safe. Hopefully, it stays that way. But I'm always, always checking my six, looking out the corner of my eye, and just kind of like surveilling the surroundings. So I would have seen it, but even then, like I said, what I seen, it didn't scare me. It didn't freak me out. I was just like, what the hell was that? What am I seeing? So I literally just got up and looked. I thought it was somebody messing with me. Like, I don't know what it was, man, but I saw that damn thing. That's for sure.
Did you ever see it again while you had your band? How long did the band stay there at that?
Oh, we ended up moving somewhere else. We weren't there that long. Maybe 6 months we were there, and we ended up moving. I can't even remember where the hell we moved to. Where the hell did we move to? Oh, yeah, we moved to same building, but we moved upstairs because this room we were sharing with another band. It was a bigger room, but the one upstairs was smaller, but we had it to ourselves. And I never seen it again there. I never felt anything odd because I've been to this building many times by myself. There's other places I've been where you can feel like, oh, there's something here, but not in that room, not in that building. I don't know how to explain it, but the damnedest things happens. That's why these shows exist, like yourself and mine and many others.
Right. The band broke up.
Ooh. No, bro. We went. That band lasted for 10 years, man. You can look it up. It's called Lamera, Lamera. Type in the word metal, and then type in Mannheim, so Mannheim, and you will find 2 albums of us. It's kind of a groovy death metal, and I'm the singer and guitarist.
All right, cool. So after the Hatman, now and things are, of course, they're going to progress because they're following you. You're able to experience these things, and I believe myself, and this is the way I think, is that the more you experience it, the more these things are going to open up to you because they sense that you can see them. They sense you can be with. I think they can see the light. They can see your inner light. They can see your aura. I think they're attracted to that, and I think they know the ones to go to. And this is how I feel. I've had it happen my whole life now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So after this, where does it go from here? Where were you after the Hatman and all that? What's the next step?
Yeah, I kind of just lived my time in Germany. I did the band thing. I had a job, and then COVID came along, and I was anti everything they were trying to do to me. Freedom of speech for me is paramount. The freedom to do what I want to do with my body, my choice, right? Okay, guys. And and I just me and my ex-wife, we weren't having none of it. She was even stronger than I was. I kind of teetered for a second, and she was like, "No, Tom, don't do that." And I was like, "All right, man." And we just pulled up stakes, man. I gave up everything, a full-time paying job, 30 days vacation, healthcare, dental care, surfing equipment, band equipment, and everything. Pulled up stakes, sold everything I could, left most of it in my garage there, and just moved here to the Yucatan Peninsula. The rationale behind it was, if they ever try to pull that shit again, I'm going to be in the forest with a rifle, and I can get my own food and grow my own stuff here in the tropics. And so we ended up, when we came here, we rented a house for a year because the contract was for a year. But in that time, we were searching for property, and we ended up buying property about a half hour outside of town. So, I enjoy looking at the sky and stargazing. So that's cool. It's very black out there. So we ended up buying 10 acres. We found a place. And there's a lot of red tape to go through. So we cut into this property. It used to be a former goat field for this guy. So they have a place to eat and stuff, and then he uses them for meat. So we cut into it. I built basically just like, a little house. I literally took logs. I literally cut them with a chainsaw, painted them, like with tar, dug in the ground as far as I could, stuffed them in there, got them as level as I could, and built myself some kind of a place to sleep because I didn't have much time left on my 1-year contract when I found it. So one night, this place it's wild. Okay, so there's a thing down here in the Yucatan. This place is very, very spooky. Just to give us some background, the Yucatan is no snow in Mexico. That's not true. There's certain mountains. This place is former Mayan territory. So, and it's still Mayan. There's still, I would say, 35% of the people here speak Mayan, and maybe 20% of them only speak Mayan in some of these towns. So the Mayan people are still here. And there is a entity that they create to protect their corn. So corn originates in Mexico, guys. Popcorn, all that stuff. It's called maíz in Spanish. So they do a ritual here that the Mayans did a ritual here. And I learned this from a person who knows about it because his whole family is into this stuff. They're like kind of witch people, kind of, and they know a lot about kind of things. And I can't think of the word for it now, but it's kind of like if you want to put a curse on somebody, they can do that for you, kind of thing. And he told me, I had him on my show. His name is Moises. He now lives in a different part of Mexico, closer to Texas now. And he was telling me, because he spoke English, and I try to do that. I try to get a lot of people have a lot of stories here. And he told me there's a ritual they do to protect their property. And this ritual is a 7-day ritual. They make like a little figure out of like corn mixed with mud, mixed with blood. And they do like this ritual. I can't remember if it's over a few weeks or over 7 days. It's either 7 weeks or 7 days. I can't remember that part. But they do these rituals. And on the 7th day, they offer like corn and food and stuff. And on the 7th day, this thing disappears. And this is what is known here as a Lucius. Look it up, guys. It's a real thing. Yeah, bruja. Exactly. Witch. Female witch. Brujo is a male witch, which is also... thank you. Exactly. Min XE 5813. Then there's also, they also call wizards. They also call them witches here too in Spanish, colloquially, that word, colloquially. There it is. And so these things are called Alucias. They are a cherub. So basically, like if you think about Cupid, so they got the, like they got a little fanny on them. They're kind of chubby. They kind of look like a mini Buddha. They are kind of naked. They're brown skinned. They're 2.5, 3 foot tall, and they protect the property. Now, the Mayan civilization as we know it is now gone. The pyramids are still here. I've been to a few of them, and they're very spooky. There's one in the woods. It's about 40 minutes away. It's called Acanmul. So ACANMUL. So you guys can look it up. It's kind of off the beaten path. There's the stones. They took some of the stones off the pyramids to make a church nearby that has bones in the floor, which I've also visited. And I've seen a satanic symbol there, which is the star, but with the point at the top. So, which is very weird in Mexico because people are so poor, they would never get spray paint to spray paint on the wall without any purpose. So that's definitely witchcraft for sure. So I saw that and I got the hell out of there. But so these things, they protect the property. And how do they do that? They freak you out. They scare you. I've talked to people. I talked to a mechanic here who was working on my car. He's a hunter, and he was showing me, his deer. And I asked him about these things. And he goes, yeah, anytime you're near a hill, so it's like a hilly area here where I am, you'll get rocks thrown at you. Or I've heard of people who've seen them, right? There's a story, bro, that I heard. two gentlemen lived in a city here. It's an area of the city where they have larger pieces of property. So it goes back maybe, I don't know, maybe 200 feet and maybe 100 feet wide. And there's still like some jungle in there, but it's fenced off in the back. And there's a lot of caves here. It's the Yucatan Peninsula is like a limestone outcrop. So it's limestone, also has a lot of electricity, quartz type value to it. But quartz is more concentrated, but here it's kind of like everywhere, but not as concentrated. So they kept hearing something, right? And so this is a guy that I worked with and his uncle and his friend. Is the uncle's property. They kept hearing something. They're having some cigarettes, smoking some beer on a Friday night, just hanging out in the yard. And he goes, let me show you something. He goes, what do you mean? He takes a little cup, right? Puts a little bit of beer in there, puts it near where they heard it, put a cigarette out, lit it, put it on the ground. He said one of these things came out, drank the beer, smoked the cigarette, and the dude took off running. And here's what happens. Supposedly, when you see one of these things, you get sick. They call it mal vientos, bad winds. If you go, or evil winds, probably better said. If you go into the caves, there's people who will get they'll get a crink in their neck, or they'll get a fever that'll last for 3 or 4 days. And sometimes they actually perish, So he's seen this thing, freaked out, got a fever, never went back to the property again. So I'm setting this up to tell you about this property I bought. Okay. So it's about it's a kilometer off the road. So what is that? Like 0.8 miles, something like that. It's through a lot of mud, especially in the rainy season, which just passed. Yeah. Come on down, Francisco. You can come on down. I'll hook you up with a hotel and you can come chill out with me. We'll have a beer. It's really cool here. Very nice part of Mexico. Very hot, but very cool. Very cool at the same. People here are very, very, very friendly. And so I bought this property. It's way back in the woods. So these entities do not know that their masters are no longer there. So I built that house, like I was saying. Me and my daughter, who's here with me now, we were roasting marshmallows. We got this place. We're just hanging out. And he said that the rocks get thrown at you. I'm sitting there. And all of a sudden, Chris, this freaking rock comes humming through the trees and hits branches behind me. And there's nobody out there, bro. This is in the middle of nowhere, dude. And I said, audio. Is it audio? My audio? My audio bad? No? 1085. Okay. Hello? All right. Maybe that's somebody else's. All right. I shouldn't be reading the comments. That's your job.
I'm saying audio too. I don't know what's going on.
Neither do I. Yeah. So I just kind of freaked out for a second, but she's like 5, my daughter, and I was like, oh,
there's a guy named Audio in the thing. They're saying hi.
Audio's hi, Audio. Sorry, bro.
They got a knitting club in the chat room. They're not really listening to us.
It's fun nonetheless, dude. And yeah, so I freaked out.
I'm sorry, they're great.
No worries, buddy.
I'm joking.
It's all good, guys. Good, you guys have a very lively chat over there. It looks very friendly. You guys are an awesome community. I'm glad to be here, honestly, seriously. And you'll have the same welcome over to Ad Jupiter, guys. Come on over and you can talk with us too. I got a great group of people over there. Try to combine forces. And yeah, so I go in the house and we just go to sleep. So this house, I built an outside area, right? This is the first thing, a rock got thrown at me, so I'm a little freaked out. This house has an outside area, and I mosquito screen it in, Chris. Very important here. There's 5 different species that I know alone of mosquitoes down here. There's a big black one, a little black one, a little tiny black one. The one that looks like a tiger. It's got like stripes on it, and one that is yellow, and that's the one that has like yellow fever and malaria. You got to be very careful. So a lot of off spray and a lot of hiding behind mosquito nets. So we're in there. I sleep in a hammock. I always sleep in a hammock because of my bad back, and they're super comfortable. Not the kind with the stretch on the top, but it's kind of like a pea pod, and you lay in those, and they're super comfortable. I can sleep 6-7 hours, no problem. So we're sleeping in the hammock. My daughter has hers. I'm sleeping in mine. We're both outside together. We're living a life. Basically retired, poor as can be, but we are free. They're never going to tell me what to do again. And I get up to go to the bathroom, Chris. about 3 a.m. Oddly enough, the witching hour. Now I know that too. Go to the bathroom. I get back on my hammock and I'm about to go to sleep. And then I swear, dude, in my left ear, which is also one of those things, I hear this. This is what I hear, dude. I hear like this. And I literally, dude, I just threw a punch like, what is that, dude? You know, and there's nobody there. No, something, I could feel the breath in my ear. I can feel like my eardrum being like hit and like the little hairs in there. Yeah, dude, go check it out, dude. Not the eyes, the eye. Close enough. No S. And yeah, so that was one night. And then I put this addition on the house because we wanted to build like a shower and a little bigger area to hang out in. And so I put my hammock in there, and there's this long sweeping lines that I had. I'm sorry, this long sweeping line. And then my daughter is kind of catty corner away from me about maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 feet in the older section where we were sleeping together. And so I get up one night to go to the bathroom, and I'm not trying to be a cool guy or anything. This is just the truth. In the bathroom, there was a snake, and it was eating bugs. It was sitting on this log, one of these logs that I was putting in, and it was hanging there on the logs, and there's a lot of ants here, and it's just eating these ants. And I was like, well, I can't go back to sleep with the snake there, so I had to, take it out. And with a machete. Very important, guys. Don't do it with the sharp end, do it with the dull end, and make sure the snake is facing you. Okay, these are things I learned from my Mexican, the guy I bought the property from, who still owns a piece next to me. Anyhow, I do that. I'm laying back in the hammock, and then for some reason I kind of like just open my eyes and I look above my daughter, and there's this, Chris, I'm telling you, there was this bluish white light that looks like someone shines a flashlight through like a fish tank, but not super distinct on the edges, about the size of, I don't know, a little bit bigger than a softball. And it was on the ceiling above my daughter, and it was kind of moving a little bit. And I'm like, I'm just like, what is that? And then I go to look to see if it's like a flashlight or something, try to rationalize it. That's kind of what we do. And I was looking for the source, and I look down, I don't see any source. I look back up, and it was gone. I was like, okay, that's freaking weird. Then I swear, a week later, same thing. I get up to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom is close by. I get back to my thing, and I look, so that there's no door on it yet, because like I said, I'm still under construction, and I'm laying in the hammock, and I look over to my right. This is where the snake was and where this light was, and I see this light, instead of being on the ceiling now, it's on the wall. And it looks exactly the same. It's kind of bluish. It doesn't have a really defined edge. It's moving. Same thing. Where does that come from? Disappears. And then shortly after that, behind me, out in the jungle, about maybe 20, 30 yards, past the mosquito net, I'm hearing this voice again. Now, to describe the voice, I already did it, so you know what it kind of sounds like. It's feminine. It's not German. It's not, why would it be German? But it's not German. It's not English. It's not Spanish. I've heard Mayan before, but it's similar, I guess you would say, but it's none of the syntax I would recognize. And I'm not just, thank you so much, Octopus. I'm not like I'm a man of God, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I'm just a man of God, and kind of, I dig Jesus. I think he's a cool cat and all that cool stuff. And there's a lot of things that I like about what he does. And I also know that the name holds power when you're in a situation. And I was quite frightened because I'm hearing this voice, and it's kind of like just messing with me. And I just said, in the name of Jesus, I don't want you to be here no more. And you can stay here, but you're not allowed to bother my family. And then there's like some hills up behind my on my property, and I went up there, and there is possibly, I can either confirm or deny, Mayan ruins on my property. And near that, I don't go in there. It's a circle, possibly. I can either confirm or deny. And I don't walk in there. And I just said, hey, once again, my intention here. I'm here to improve the land. You guys can protect it if you want, but just leave us alone. And ever since then, I've had no problems with that situation. So pretty crazy.
Well, here we go, Tom. Here's the comparison now again that I think it's all linked. Sasquatch, stone throws. Known for stone throwing. People have stones at them out. Sasquatch. Do they see the Sasquatch throwing the stones at them? No. Did you see what's throwing the stones at you?
No, I did not.
Oh. Orbs. Orbs are now being seen in Sasquatch areas and Sasquatch investigation areas for many years now. Can you associate the orbs with a Sasquatch? No, you cannot. Can you associate the orbs with the spirits? No, you cannot. Are they the old entity? Maybe. Who knows, right? Then you used it in the name of Jesus. People did that to Sasquatch to drive them away from their areas. To get
They go to the cardinal points and they what's that called? Where they what's it called when they you know the word probably better than I do. When they go to the 4 cardinal points and they say in the name of Christ, I can't think of the name of it. Someone in the chat will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it will, because right here on the tip of my tongue. And
it's one of those words. And please, Chris, I'm sorry.
But anyway, so now
rebuke.
Here we are.
Thank you. Rebuke. Thank you.
Yeah, rebuke in the name of. There we go. Thank you. Diane Fowler is
on fire tonight. Good job.
She's on fire. She's
Steve.
Yeah, she's good to have in your chat room and everything. She's a great lady.
Thank you.
She's in every chat room. She's everywhere. She's
well, come on over. You can come over and help me on my side. I could always use an extra cool mod. If you want to come over, I'll throw you on.
There you go. There you go. But now, once again, the similarities. It's all together. It's all in the same. It's all in the same little ball, and it's all packed in there. But you can't say one thing is one thing and one thing is the other, because you really don't know. And if you're not seeing what's doing it, then you really sure as hell don't know. And I've had stones thrown at me a lot. Never saw what did it ever.
Really? Wow, dude.
I'm out in the forest. I've had a lot. I got them on tape. I've got them like a lot. And it's just the similarities of this all together. And I just that's where I think it's all going. And just the way you explained it, it reminded me someone could tell the same exact story, but they could be talking about a Sasquatch.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlapping magisteria. You know what I mean? Right. It's not just. I mean, if you'll hear people talk about Sasquatch, and then if you look and start just in that area within a 10-kilometer radius, you'll hear a lot of things about UFO sightings, abductions, poltergeist activity. There's something weird, and it seems to be electromagnetic for some reason. I don't know what that is. But it's just the damnedest thing, man. I agree with you, buddy.
Frequencies. And now the Mayans were big into frequencies. Those big pyramids, you go inside and they ring bell. I forgot what it was. I saw a show on it, and they were ringing bells or something inside, and it was echoing. It was vibrating throughout the whole inside of the pyramid, or they were hitting the stone or something on the top of the pyramid. And
I went to a place an hour away. You guys can look this up. What is it called? Edzna, Edzna, Edzna. And it's weird. So you go there, it's like I said, an hour away, and it's on this platform. So it's up a little bit, and then there's these pyramids on the sides, and the big one is in the back, and it's about 100 feet up in the air. Old Mayan site. It's very old. And you could stand on one side of it and hear people talking on the other. Like everything. Oh, yeah, I was yesterday. You're like, dude, I can hear their and they're not yelling, they're just having like you and I right now. They were very in tune with that. It's very strange.
Right. And the death whistle, they use the death whistle in battle to scare their enemies. And I mean, I've using that. Those. I have one in my backpack. I use it when I'm out looking for Sasquatches to see if it'll draw up something. I blow on those things. And
I've seen they'll have here's the Dia de los Muertos. Another thing here, there's a place called Pomuch. It's a Pomuch. It's about an hour away north, and they have a cemetery there where every year around Dios de los Muertos, which is Halloween time, 1st and 2nd of November, they'll actually go in there, Chris, take out the bones out of the crypts and clean them up and put them on display and put food and candles and pictures of the people, and everyone walks around the cemetery and looks at the bones. And the more stuff there is left behind, whether it be hair, fingernails, and other, the happier they are, because that means the people want to stick around. This place is crazy, man.
Right. I would love to get there one day to go down there and see.
Come on down, guys. Shit. Fly to Merida. It's about 2 hours away. Hop on the train. Take the train into town, and then get yourself a hotel. And it's really cool. It's called, I live in a place called Campeche, Campeche. very cool place. Just don't be buying any houses down here. It's still pretty nice and cheap down here, guys. I don't want you.
Yeah, no.
And no heavy drinking either. It doesn't have a beach. The beach is 30 minutes south, and it's not that good. So it's kind of more of a historical city. It's kind of like where the pirates were, like Blackbeard and all that was here, dude. Here. And they actually built a walled fort around the city, and it still exists today, man. It's a pretty wild place.
The history must be incredible.
It's really cool. Yeah.
So, Tom, what do you think's going on? Well, why do you think this is all happening? Why do you think it is what it is? Why do you think people are seeing spirits? Why do you think people are having Sasquatch activity? Why do you think people are seeing these dogmen now? What's going on?
Oh my God,
and the number's growing. It's growing more. Do you think it's because it's more people? So, what is Tom Franklin's explanation of the weird? What do you think is going on?
I think, wow, that's a wide net to throw. First of all, I mean, if I had to take a stab at, say, cryptids, I think Bigfoot, my personal opinion, is just for me, the Patterson Gimlin film is all the proof I need, especially when you zoom in on the right leg when it turns back and you see those muscles wiggle. That's it for me. That I never saw that until I was talking to MK Davis. And he was like showing me the braid and stuff. And I was like, oh, whoa, okay. And then I started looking more and more into it. So I think they're just somewhere's, a lot of people think they're Nephilim or something like that. I don't really go that route. That's you can think that and we can talk and that's fine. I'm open for all of that. I think that Bigfoot are basically some type of, either proto-human or some type of superhuman that are just in tune with the world in a way that we can't be in tune with the world. Maybe they're infrasound kind of things where you're seeing and not seeing them as the water in the eyes vibrating and you're seeing things. Who knows what that is? I mean, it's all open for conjecture. Is there more? I think they're being put into smaller and smaller areas. And of course, then the people see them more. There's another part of me that wants to think that they see that we are somehow on this weird decline as a civilization, but not in a way that's negative. In other words, the power structures that once existed no longer do because of Pandora's box, the internet. And now I do think the Mayan calendar really happened too. 2012. It was like a split in reality. So the people who still follow it and they're just, they're always on their screen and that's all they see and they believe CNN and all that. I think they went strong that way and then everyone else kind of woke up. So I think those people are seeing Sasquatch more and there's people who need to see it are being seen, you need to see this, bro, because you are open to it somehow. So the internet is also helping people, especially being in some of these, in the Bible Belt and other strong Christian communities. It was never good to speak on these kind of things, whether it be ghost or Sasquatch or dogman or the other. So I think people are more open to it now. People are seeing them more often now. And maybe the Sasquatch are trying to get in touch with us or in tune with us to tell us, hey, we're not scary monsters. We're just different than you, bro. And I think the government knows about it, and I think they are suppressing it because if they don't, if they deny it, nothing happens. Okay, if they accept it, then they will be a protected species. And then what happens to Native Americans? Because they would be more native than they are. Where do you draw lines of boundaries to forest industry? Yes, has made it less of a stigma. I agree 100%. And there's no upside for the government to say they exist, but they know they're out there. When it comes to hauntings and stuff, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, but people are seeing a lot of the same things and experiencing a lot of the same things. There's a lot of decent evidence. I've seen some really good evidence. I've seen some decent evidence. A lot of these shows really PMO, if you know what I mean, and they always try to make it more than what it is. But there's people like Austin Lawrence, the Dead Chronicles. He does a really good job at really showing what it is and taking his time. So go check out Austin. Shout out to my buddy. He's great at it. It's the thing is, being a human, I think we just want to know, and I just want to know your story. And we've kind of discovered all the land, unless you believe in the ice wall or whatever that is. I'm not saying that I agree or disagree. I don't believe or don't, I'm not going to try to get you shoved off of YouTube anytime soon. But basically everything has been found and discovered, basically. But there's still the oceans, and there's still things that are happening, especially like Appalachia, with large owls and witches, and it's all over the world, guys. They have duendes here. It's just a mystery, and I think now we are slowly unraveling it and culturally looking at it. And a lot of Native Americans will also talk about the Sasquatch. So it's just an interesting time to be alive. Don't be afraid. Especially if you have a belief in God and you're connected with your community and yourself, and just open your heart and just don't be afraid, and just look at it objectively and, enjoy it, man. Go along for the ride, man.
Yeah. The fairy tales are real. I think they didn't know how to write back then of what was going on. So that's how they portrayed things,
Yeah. Great point, dude.
The big bad wolf going to huff and puff and blow your house down. Well, what do you think the big bad wolf was? You know what I mean? The troll.
Dogman. Dogman is interesting. There's like 3 different types, aren't there?
I don't know much about the Dogman either. I'm learning.
Really?
This is all open book for me. All this new stuff, the Dogman and the paranormal.
I've been hearing ones that people are saying they look more hyena-like. That's the new thing that I've been hearing. And then there's ones that look like Bettina Malstein, who look like you remember Ike from Tom and Jerry, but like a black one. And then there's the ones that look like literally like a freaking a huge German Shepherd, just like leaning over. And some of them, like Daryl Denton was telling me, he's seen 4 times, and like 2 of them have been ones that appeared and then like disappeared. And then there's ones that look more. Some of them maybe are military experiments. There's so much weirdness going on in the world right now, but I'm enjoying it. Just sit back. 6 different types. Thank you, Al. 6 different types of dogmen. All right, man. Go over to Al. Go to what's it, the Bronxville Paranormal Society, and go check out my buddy Al Santoriga over there. He's awesome. I love Al. Oh, he got us in touch, didn't he? He got me in touch with you. Now I remember. God damn.
Yeah.
We're busy men, aren't we?
Pat's not here tonight, and my buddy Bud, BF Bud, isn't here tonight. They caught some pretty crazy footage of a Dogman at Land Between the Lakes last fall.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That's one of those places, man. I mean, you can go check out I think there's really good like documentaries about that place. It used to be 2 rivers, so always flowing water too, guys. Something with water,
aquifer, the quart aquifer. That's what we're planning on doing at that new area this year. We got
the new place you were telling me about. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool, dude. So you're looking forward to going back out there again, huh?
Yeah, I'm ready. I lost my area 3 years ago, and now I finally got a new place to go all the time. So I'm looking forward. But this isn't about me. This is about you.
No, we're talking. I'm just talking, bro. I just what we do.
No. It's okay, but I'm just saying it's not about. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not saying that, but so if you guys we're already at hour and 15 minutes. We got 15 minutes left, everybody. If you got questions for Tom, put them up in capital letters.
Fire away, please, by all means.
Get to Tom. What do you got coming up, Tom? What's coming up for you this year? And
basically just continue what I'm doing. Just continue to do what I'm doing. If the podcast takes off, I want to thank you guys. I just took a quick look over here. I already got 5 subs. That's fantastic. Check it out, guys. I have a lot of cool people on.
$50 a piece. That's fine.
Oh, okay. I got to pay for them. All right.
All right.
Oh man, yeah. Saying you okay? I don't think I can afford that. But, yeah, I mean, the plan is to continue to do what I'm doing, to make the podcast where it becomes my job. And when that happens, because I'm a tutor right now, I'm an English tutor. When it becomes my job, I plan on learning Mayan. That's the real truth. Going out with a friend of mine. I have a friend here who speaks Spanish, and he's, he can get me through some backwaters and stuff. He's a really cool guy. I can picture his name right now, but I can think of his name. he's the one who took me to the pyramid. Yeah, I got this pyramid. You got to come check it out. All right, bro, let's go. We had the drone and stuff, and we went. And I want to go out to these communities and talk to them about things like Alushas and Ishtabai, which is Ishtabai is like the Bell Witch of the Yucatan Peninsula. Okay, but different. Kind of like, come here into the woods, drunk guy, and the guy disappears. She has a horse leg and a chicken leg, but she's hot with long black hair, beautiful fair skin. And then when you look down and see the legs, you freak out, look back up. She's like, like the Ring or something, or like the whatever, the Grudge or something. So pretty scary stuff. Just continue what I'm doing. I mean, I want to go out to these places. I am in connection with some guy. I have to speak Spanish better. He is really into it. He can get me permission to go to the cemeteries here. My girlfriend has had some interesting things in the cemeteries. There is a picture somewhere, a YouTube video. Not a YouTube video, but like a short or something I did. And I went into these cemeteries, and they're literally, people are buried on top of each other here. There's no rhyme or reason. It's crazy. Go in there, ask some questions, check it out. Talk to the Mayans. I think that's really going to be a cool thing. I also want to talk to some of the construction workers who built the train Maya. So they built a train that kind of like, so tourists can come and fly into Cancun and go see, Chichen Itza, go to Merida, Campeche, go to Palenque, and all these different Mayan sites, and travel the Yucatan Peninsula and enjoy it. And a lot of these workers, when they cut through some of these forested areas that are just very remote, the things that they were talking about, they were seeing, like things in trees, Alusha scratching like on their, like weird shit in the woods. I want to talk to these people. And I just, La Llorona. Oh yeah, that's very famous in Mexico. La Llorona. It's like the screaming mother. That's very famous down here. I don't know anything about Chupacabra here. There's not much of that going on. Just kind of maybe expand out. I don't know if I'll be able to. Only if the channel expands to a point that which it covers what my tutoring is covering now. But for the most part, just keep getting interesting guests on. If you guys want to reach out to me and you want to talk to me and you want to feel comfortable, that's what I do, man. A lot of people are having these encounters in the woods, whether it be Bigfoot, Dogman, and the like, and they just don't know where to go. And if you want to come on, you can be fully, anonymous. We can, you don't have to turn your camera on. We can change your name, and we can just talk about it. So just reach out to me. Best way is through my email, the Eye of Jupiter podcast@gmail.com. You can also contact me on Facebook, Instagram, what's the other one? TikTok, which I don't really use, mostly Facebook, and my email. I have a channel. You can write in the comment, hey, I'd love to talk to you. Either way, this has been fun. Yeah, thank you, buddy. And just come over and talk to me about it, and then maybe we can figure out something together. At least make you feel human again. I think a lot of people, when they see this, I've talked to people who hunt and fish their whole lives. They go out in the woods, they've never seen anything like that, and they can't go back again, And there's been at least once, maybe twice, where I've been able to help people kind of get through that, and they're able to go back to do what it is that they love, and that's enjoy the great outdoors. So yeah, come over and check me out, guys.
Very cool, very cool. I'm looking forward to the Mayan stuff.
There's a video over on my channel. You can see it. It's not very good. I wasn't good at like cutting it, but you can see the actual, when I went to this pyramid and to the church with the bones on the floor. You can see that.
Now, are you able, before we head out, are you able to investigate those areas, or do you have to have permits, or do you have to do it from the hip, or
this particular area, I didn't have to really do anything. My friend knew where it was. Carlos is his name. And it was an old, the first place we went to was an old like hacienda where they were making like vines, old rope, like from these plants where they had you see like steam power, like cast iron, old shit. And then there was a church across the road where they took the stones off the pyramids. And then a little farther down was the actual pyramids, and it's no big deal. But to get into the cemeteries at night, you need permission, because there is during the pandemic, people were so poor here, they were going in and stealing any metal they can find. And they were like, like basically grave robbing here. So it's a pretty wild place, man.
I could just imagine what goes on in the jungles in the middle of the night, way back by the pyramids.
There's animals here, dude. There's jaguar foot. My daughter has seen jaguar footprints, and she took pictures of it when she was out there, about maybe 100 yards from my property. I had a python I seen out there one day that almost snuck up on my ass. That was about, I don't know, 7 feet long, about that big around. And I kept hearing it, and I looked over, and I seen this coil go over a branch. Dude, it was like the Jungle Book. I felt like Mowgli. And showed the picture to my neighbor. He goes, "That's a python. Be careful, but it tastes good." I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool, man. I ain't going to do python today." Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sasquatch Mama.
All the human sacrifices back when, and oh my God, that jungle must come alive. I'm sure.
I don't think the Mayans did it as much as the Aztec, but they weren't singing Kumbaya, dude. So they were very astrologically aligned. They we say the man on the moon. The Mayans, when they look at the moon, they see a rabbit. If you look at it, you'll see a rabbit. You'll see 2 ears, and it looks like a rabbit. So you can see what they want. My girlfriend is actually Mayan. Her mom is full-blood Mayan. And she's like Mayan, and she has a little bit of Asian in her too. I don't know. She's basically Mayan. Her mom speaks a little bit, but her grandmother was fluent in it. And I want to talk it because it's kind of dying here, but they're starting to go, let's make sure we keep it. And the Japanese see rabbits too. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Wow, thank you for that. That was a good piece of information. I didn't know. I learned something today.
Yeah, you learn a lot. Learn a lot in the chat room, that's for sure. Good people.
All right, I appreciate you having me on, man. I really enjoyed it.
And I had a great time tonight. Thank you for sharing all your stuff. And once again, we're linking this stuff together. It's linked. I mean, you just described all that stuff, and then someone could come on the show tomorrow and say the same thing that they had a Sasquatch and the whole same story. There's something linked up. I don't know what it is. Again, this is just my opinion. I am not the Sasquatch guru or the ghost guru or any guru at all. Just a man that's looking for some answers and love learning all this. So thank you again for being here. And
thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
We'll have you back down the road again. And
I'll have you on again. I'm sure I'll have you on again with maybe just like a roundtable, kind of discussion thing where we just kind of talk and just have you on and just shoot the breeze, man. I always enjoy having good people on the show. You know how it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Just hang out backstage. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody, and then I'll be right back there and say goodnight to you. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Eye of Jupiter podcast, Mr. Tom Franklin. All right. What a great show. Tom is a great guest. I'm glad you guys are going over there and subbing to his channel. I am off next week. I am on call for work, but the following week we're going across the pond and we are staying with the ghost theme. We're staying with the paranormal. Mr. Tommy Cullum will be our guest in 2 weeks on the show. And then it's the holidays, and we will not have a show until January 13th when I have the original investigators from the Cells property in Texas. Yes, the 2 original investigators from the Cells Texas property will, after 30 years, oh, this is such a great show, are coming live on Real American Monsters to tell us about what happened while at their stay at the Cells. Woo-hoo, baby. And we're going to show some stuff. We got a whole documentary coming on this, but the 2 original, after 30 years, are coming live to tell their story. So we're looking very, very forward to having them. And that'll be on the 13th of the new year. So that'll be Tommy Cullum. Then we're off until the 13th. And that's how we're kicking off the new year. So once again, thank you all for being so kind in the chat room. We learn a lot from you guys. I love you guys. I love all you in the chat. You guys are the kindest, gentlest people I know on this earth. And I love seeing you when we're doing this. And as my friend Larry says, get in the woods, people.
Out of my head, out of bed, still sleeping. let my alter ego out wherever I will go. The stains will always show.